This is the plaintiff, Ken Cruz. He says he bought a used car from the sneaky defendant, and the guy royally ripped him off. That's right, he sold him a car with a fried engine. The defendant's a scoundrel who needs to be stopped, and he's here to sue him for the $2,280 he paid him for the hunk of junk. This is the defendant, Gaetano Lujudas. He says the plaintiff took the car for a test drive, liked it, and gave him a deposit. A few days later, they met up, and the plaintiff gave him the rest of the money and drove the car away. All he knows is he sold the plaintiff a perfectly good car that was running fine, and he owes him nothing. He's accused of unloading a clunker.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff is outraged. He says he bought a car from the defendant that had a fried engine, but the defendant says the car was A-OK. It's the case of dishonest engine.
Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Ken Cruz, you are suing Gaetano Lujudas for $2,705.81. Money that you paid for a car plus your tow and other expenses because according to you, he sold you a lemon. Tell me what happened.
Well, I was looking to get a car, and I seen a couple of cars for sale on the side of the road and went over to check it out. And one of them was $2,900 for a Honda Accord.
From what year?
That was in '96. I
have a child that age in my house.
It was had 102,000.
She's gotten more difficult as the years have passed too.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead.
It had about 100,000 miles on it. And anyway, so I called him up and come down and started asking him questions about the car. And at first he's like, you know, that's why I don't really like selling cars in this town. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, you know, you're asking questions and this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, I'm just asking questions about the car.
Why didn't you just walk away?
I'm sorry?
Why didn't you just walk away?
I probably should have at that point. All right. But I needed a car real bad. And I was kind of hoping that it would work out.
All right, so you take the car, you have the title. Then what day is this?
I think it was like December 9th.
Okay. And then what happens?
So I get the car registered and titled. And
what day do you get it titled?
The 11th.
Okay.
That's when I went to motor vehicle.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I get the car titled, and then I went to drive the car home. And I got like 8 miles and the engine blew.
And that happened to you right after titling the car?
Yes.
Okay. What date did you have the car towed?
Yes, I did.
All right, and you're suing for the tow fee. Let me see the tow receipt. Did you leave it on the side of the road where it broke?
Yeah, I had to. Me and a friend here pushed it to the side of the road, and I had called the tow truck the next morning and had it towed. This is his receipt that he gave me from.
All right, so you take the car to a mechanic who tells you that there's severe engine damage.
Right.
And in fact, what he says is found forward camshaft seized in cylinder head, which in turn broke the timing belt. This caused engine valves to strike pistons, bending all exhaust valves. Vehicle needs both heads removed to check for more damage.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And so did you call him?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I'm kind of curious why not. Most people like. Well,
because it's kind of the way the beginning of the deal was going. He was like, pick a card, any card. He was a real wheeling dealing kind of guy. And I mean, he only lived 5 miles away from me. Okay.
Did you have the car inspected when you were buying us?
That was one of the other things I wanted to bring up was that these cars are being sold out of a parking lot of a deli. And at the time, I really didn't realize this, but from what I'm told, I don't know how true it is, that if it's being sold out of like a type of dealership, that the car really, before it was sold, should have been inspected before releasing the car.
I don't know what you're talking about. You bought a car at a deli parking lot from a guy you didn't know. I didn't buy a car from a deli parking lot from a guy I didn't know. There's no law that protects you for wanting to get a quick deal on a car because you were desperate and you didn't thoroughly investigate it.
Okay.
So what I want to know is, did you get the car inspected? And I'd like to hear an answer that does not involve someone else should have inspected it. Someone else shouldn't have been selling the car there. Someone else shouldn't have sold it under shady circumstances. You're the guy buying the the car under the
couldn't drive
circumstances
the
are good
car
enough
to-
for you at the time.
Okay, I couldn't drive the car to get it inspected.
Why not? Well, how does everybody else manage to get it inspected?
It broke down in 8 miles.
No. Before the sale, my friend, when you buy something
You
that's
don't
60...
get a car...
you don't?
I thought you meant state inspection.
No, I mean you inspected so that you know you want to invest a couple of grand.
Did I bring it to a mechanic? No, I didn't.
Okay, or have a mechanic go there and look at it.
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. All right, what's the deal with you? What do you do? You sell cars out of deli parking lots for a living, or is this
I was doing someone a favor, and
a favor for who?
for a person that owned the vehicle, and I said, put the car up at the lot. You can put my number on it, and I'll help
But
you
why?
sell.
Why were you doing a favor for somebody and put your number on it? Why didn't that person sell their own car?
She wasn't able to sell the car, so
Who
I
is
tried
the
to
person?
help her. His name is George.
So it's a he, not a she.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's not able to sell the car. Why?
I don't know. I just was
Have you
handling.
done this
I was
before?
handling the transaction.
What do you do for a living?
For me, I'm an actor and a chef.
Okay, so I have to say that doesn't sound like you're well versed in selling cars. So why were you picked to handle the transaction instead of somebody else? Do you sell cars for a hobby?
No.
Or a living?
No.
Or how many cars have you sold in the last year?
I haven't really sold that many cars in the last.
That wasn't an answer to my question.
I don't sell cars, so I.
So
I have
how many cars have you sold in the last year?
None.
Zero.
Zero. This car, I just handled the transaction. That was it.
Okay. And again, why are you handling the transaction? Who is this person to you?
A friend of mine.
Why are you handling the transaction? There's an answer to this. You just won't tell me. Why are you handling the transaction?
He asked me if I could put a car by my friend's deli. My friend owns the deli.
Okay.
So I said, okay, just put my number on it, and if they call, I'll go there and see. I'll let them see the car.
So it's because your friend owns the deli.
Yeah.
All right.
And that was the
and
reason.
then so they call you. Of course, you could just get the deli guy to let him put the car there with a for sale sign with his
He
number.
wouldn't do that.
Right.
So I knew the guy in the deli. He says, "Could I put a car
whatever.
up there?"
How long did you? First of all, you flipped this car. The car wasn't even registered in your name.
Correct.
Right. So you flipped this car for. Did you buy it from that person or no?
No.
Okay. All right. So the transaction takes place.
Yes. When I first met the gentleman, he came over, and I let him test ride the car. He was kind of like nervous and all this stuff. I don't know, maybe it was my presence or whatever. And I let him test ride. He was here with his father, but he didn't have all the money, so I told him not to waste my time. And I said to him, I know in this neighborhood here, people say they want to buy something and then they don't come up with the money. They don't.
How do you know?
Well, that's
How do you
the
know?
neighborhood.
How do you know if you don't sell cars?
I don't sell cars,
Well,
but I'm
then
just
how do you
saying.
know that happens in this neighborhood? Because that sounds like a very
Because
savvy
the guy in the
little
deli
statement.
says that there's always a problem with
The
someone.
guy in the deli needs to make a better sandwich and stop worrying about the cars.
All right.
So this dude, by the way, in Goodfellas, he was kind of like cagey when the plaintiff started asking questions about the car. If somebody was doing that to you, would you walk away?
Yes.
Or if you loved the car, would you buy it?
No, I would walk away.
Because
Because he's not honest enough to tell you what's wrong with the car. And
it's a sign.
it's a sign that he's trying to hide something.
Gotcha.
Yeah, typically when they hesitate, it's a sign that there's something wrong.
You buying that, ma'am?
Yes, I am. Something's not right. If someone's not willing to answer questions and you're getting ready to do business, then you walk.
Run for the. Oh no, you don't walk.
You run.
Exactly. Going inside the courtroom.
When did he get the car?
No, he got the car November 11th. That's when
Did
he
you
came
get
up
the
with
car
deposit.
November 11th?
I'm sorry, I probably made a mistake, yes.
Okay, so he got the car November. That's a pretty big mistake. So he drove the car a month before it broke down, not 8 hours?
Well, let me get to.
No, just answer my question. Why can't anybody just answer my
He had the car for a long time. He
a
never
month
called me.
from November 11th until the day he had it towed.
I
Whatever
never
that
knew
day.
anything was wrong with this vehicle until I got the court
sued.
papers.
Right. He didn't even call you. All right.
Okay.
Folks, here's what we have. You bought a car from a guy who you don't know, and you don't bother to have it looked at by a mechanic. Most litigants in front of me didn't bother. That's why they're in front of me. Didn't bother to get it looked at by a mechanic. Now, this is kind of what ended up happening with your car is kind of a hard thing for a mechanic to detect just by looking at it, because I think you have to be inside to see that this is about to happen. But this is a risk of cars that are this age.
I understand.
So, and what ended up happening to your car was a catastrophic event that happened at the moment, and it happened when you were the owner and not when he was the owner. It's not like there was well, that's true. It was not like there was a hidden defect that he knows about, and so therefore he now has to make good. This happens not 8 hours after you get the car, not 1 month after you get the car. There's no evidence that it didn't happen 2 months after, because it's kind of suspicious that you didn't call and demand your money back at any point. These are the perils of buying a 16, 17-year-old car. My verdict in this case is for the defendant.
All right, both sides, just hold on, please.
And so the plaintiff learns the hard way that as is as is. Stay right here. What's your reaction to this outcome?
You win some, you lose some.
Why'd you trust the guy in the deli parking lot?
It was a mistake.
Right. I mean, you said he looked like a wheeler dealer, said some strange things at the beginning. Didn't the
I needed a car real bad.
Didn't the radar register anything?
Yes, it did.
So?
I made a mistake.
All right. Okay. Head right down this way. All right. And have a mechanic check out a used car next time you buy one. Step on in there. You look like a trustworthy guy. What's the problem?
Problem is, I thought I was doing a good deed for someone, trying to sell a car there. And if that guy had money enough to go buy a new car with a warranty, we didn't have this problem. But I wouldn't have known. I'm not a mechanic. I'm not a dealer. And he lied about the dates. It was more than a week or two that he had the car in his possession.
Did you unload a lemon on the guy?
No, I'm not a lemon seller.
Your car's.
I like lemons, but,
Harvey?
This is real simple. You are crazy not to get a car inspected if it's used. In fact, you are insane. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.